Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, hello from whichever part of the world you're joining us from. Thank you. A lot of people joining. This is exciting. Thank you for joining us on this very, very important topic. Hayafutmi, a student innovator who is revolutionizing the education space. Really, his solution, Relix.io, is going to be the game changer for students, and I feel he's the best person to talk about what the topic we have today, which is navigating mental health for students, because I believe we don't talk a lot about that. My guest is Vipin Sharma. He's Indian. He's one of the 50 finalists for the inaugural Check.org Global Rights 2021. Vipin, nice to meet you. Please welcome to this show, and thank you so much for honoring the invitation. How are
Thank
you
you so much
doing
for calling me
today?
up. I'm doing absolutely
Thank
well, and I'm pretty excited to join you up. I was waiting for joining this session,
uh,
so I hope it really goes well.
Awesome. So, Vipin, before we start, I know what you do, but a lot of people don't know what you do. So please give us a brief overview of how your company, Relix.io, is in a way designed to relieve academic stress of students.
There are a lot of things which are going in a wrong way. For example, let's say if a student is really obsessed about social media, then on social media, each and every person is posting about the really good parts of their life. For example, if I'll talk about my Instagram, I have posted that I am the finalist of Global Student Prize and I have like won a medal. The Health Minister of India has, just given me some sort of award. So I only show my good part in the social media, which depresses a lot of people. When I talk to my relatives, they are really not happy with me because they used to get scolded because I am doing absolutely well in my life. So that is why I decided to create a social media for students and teachers only, where there would be no show off, there would only be good, lucrative content, pure educational content, learning oriented content for students, which they can leverage, they can learn, they can perceive a great intelligence in themselves, and they can become better with time, because the world is changing at various levels. It becomes really critical for us to be a good human being because the humanity is decreasing as the population is increasing with time. So the purpose of Brillix is to not make students more, stressful or more anxious about their study, but to make their study, funny matter, so that they can enjoy what they are reading, they can enjoy the information. So this
Thank
is
you
what
so
Brillix
much.
does.
You're very right. Mhm. I'm
So
listening.
let
Please.
yeah. So this was about Brillix, that we just want to cater more and more students with coming time. And since I'm an online educator, I have catered more than 300K students as of now, and I receive mails on daily basis that sir, we are not feeling to give, you feel not feeling very good to give the examination. We just feel like giving up. So seeing such messages really, hampers me up. So that's why I decided to create Brillix, which is a really good step forward to make students feel confident about their studies.
Mm. Thank you. So I relate a lot. So I am studying law, and academics can be very overwhelming. And for young people, when we see someone out there through their social media, their life is so well curated, everything looks perfect. It is easy to feel intimidated, to feel like one is not doing enough. And all of this thought leads to stress. It culminates into mental health issues, anxiety, depression, and I feel that these issues among young people is skyrocketing because the rate of suicide these days is alarming. We are losing young people, innovative, inspirational young people to suicide, and it shouldn't be so. So personally, for me, academics has been a struggle when exams or testing period are getting close by. I get anxious, not knowing how it's going to turn out. You can read, you can do all the reading, but you still know that the results may not be as you expected. So personally for you and with your experience, and should I say impact at Brilix, what are your own experiences, your personal experiences with handling mental health issues as a student? I'm asking you this question because I believe that we should always share our stories to create a community of togetherness so that a lot of people can see that people that we look up to, because I know a lot of young Indians look up to you. You are a star, and that is amazing. So they look up to you, they learn from you, they are inspired by your solution, but a lot of them may not really know that you have your own personal struggles. So what are the issues you face academically, and how are you, like say, climbing above those issues?
Actually, according to me, the stress could come from variety of ways. I mean, that should not be academically only, but it could be emotional stress. If some person is going through some sort of family problems, that could give stress. The stress that I got for the very first time was in my school time. This is a story that I haven't shared anywhere in YouTube or in Instagram, not anywhere. This is for the very first time I'm revealing it, that I am bullied a lot in school. There were a troop of people. They used to beat me a lot. They used to beat me brutally to blood. So it happened for 6 7 years. So my father was in army, so I used to change schools. But in any school that I basically go in, I was very short statured. So just because of my small height, I was very indifferent from rest of the students. So they always used to bully me up. They always used to beat me up to the extent that I didn't want to go to school even. So the stress started from that place. I was fortunate enough that my family is very supportive. I discussed that thing with my parents, and my mother basically gone to the parents teacher meet that, and she basically complained about those students, and they were rusticated for a week. So that is the place from which I basically got confidence that if you share your problem with your peers or with your parents, it gives you a really good boost, because there are a lot of people who are going to support you up. So my parents were there, and similarly, I want to be a part of all the students who are facing this problem anyhow, whether they are getting bullied, whether they are getting emotionally quenched, whether there are some family problems which are going in. I used to give lectures upon and children which were abused sexually, and they didn't even know that they are being abused. But when I have told them some sort of symptoms to identify whether you are getting abused or not, so they were basically acknowledging this thing. So the very first time I got bullied, I got huge mental stress, and I didn't want to come up to school at that point of time. But after that, I somehow conquered it up with the help of my family. So that is the thing. Academically, I was very free, to be honest. My father always used to tell me this thing: do whatever you want to do academically, because my father used to say this thing that I am not well educated. I have, quitted my studies. I don't want you guys to do that up. You are my children. You can read whatever you want to. You want to read English literature, just go upon that. You want to do engineering, you want to do medical sciences, you want to become a pharmacist or a scientist or an astronaut or an actor, you can just go for that. I won't bind you to anything. So I was very, very lucky to have such a great family, and such support always makes you up. There are two different things: either you get made or break. So my family has made me what I am today by their consistent support, and I always try to bring this thing forward, to bring this positivity forward to all my students, to all my peers, that I can understand what they are going through. Because in India there is a taboo. We don't talk about mental stress, because mental stress is even called as a madness over here. So if you are preaching someone, if you are basically going to someone and telling him that I am feeling anxious or I am feeling stressed, then they will consider you mad, and they will call you a coward, that you do not want to face competition. Then you are making some sort of excuses to go away from the work. So which is the baddest thing that can happen. So it becomes really crucial to be a part of their journey, to listen to them very carefully, to understand the problem that
Yeah.
students are facing, to give them some time, so that they can also share their problems, because sharing problems makes it halfway done. If you are sharing it with at least someone, you will feel good.
Yeah, you're so right. I feel like we don't talk enough about bullying, especially in secondary schools or high schools. I also faced a bit of bullying. I was bullied for my body. I'm very short and quite stout, so it really ruined a lot of my confidence when I was growing up. But I built it back through debating. So I love debating, I love speaking, and that's why I'm studying law. It kind of correlates. Now, not everybody knows their strength or how to ensure that they bounce back better. And like you said, not everybody have the support of a family who will stand by them, who will understand that they are not being cowards or are not trying to run away from responsibility. And for young people, the idea that you have to struggle, you just have to face everything head front is dangerous. And the fact that our society has like a lackadaisical relationship with mental health. Even in Nigeria, when you talk about mental health, the first thing that comes to people's mind is that you are mad. We call it squishy here. It's a term here called squishy. It means craziness. So they think you're crazy. They think something is wrong upstairs. And I don't believe that. I think mental health is as important as physical health. And also I believe we need to reconstruct our education system, the marking system to make sure that everything is not focused on, just getting the grades. Our system here is more of grades, not abilities, not interests. So every person, like we said, people have their strengths. For example, a kid who is very good with creativity is studying architecture. Is studying engineering. It's not going to work. So how do you now your organization, Brilix Ohio? Not only are simplifying education resources for students, you're helping them with their coursework, their assignments, making sure that the knowledge they need is simplified, they can get it easily. So what other, let's say, governmental solutions do you think is either in curriculum, either in marking scheme to reduce the stress that students face in general, and to ensure that our mental health is highly prioritized across board?
So India is changing its educational policy. So the educational policy was not changed for more than 35 years, which was like very dramatic and very sad also. But due to the rising cases of suicide and due to the rising cases of uncertainty in education, they have decided to launch NEP, that is National Education Program, education policy basically, which is going to change the way India reads. Because now you can choose the subjects that you want to read. Initially, if let's say I'm a biology student, I cannot take economics if I'm like very interested in economics. But currently, I can read it up. I can choose the subjects on my own and I can read whatever I want. So I think that is going to help a lot. But in schools, if there are a lot of students, there are like 2K students, 3K students, then there is only one medical counselor which is available over there. In India, per 1 million students, there is only one psychiatrist and there is only three psychologists, which is like very, very less. It doesn't mean that we can't hold that thing up or we can't assure to produce more and more psychiatrists, but we do not feel so because the mental stress is not very dramatic, right? If we feel physical pain, we can obviously scream, we can call people and we can show them, right? I'm feeling fever or I just got my leg broken. These things we can feel and we can evidently, produce their evidence. Yes, we are sick. But when it comes to mental health, we cannot do so. So that's why it is taken very lightly in India. And that's why less than 1% of the students who are suffering from mental stress exactly gets the medical supervision. 99% of the students are even not catered. And a lot of them in very long run suffers from a lot of deadly diseases, which is very bad. So the government can do a thing in this case is to increase the number of medical counselors per student in schools, in colleges, in universities, as well as to increase the number of psychologists in
Yes.
overall scenario, because a lot of adults are also facing these issues. Let me tell you a data that more than 50% of employed Indians who are in corporate sector are patient of stress and anxiety. More than 50%, which is a striking number, just because of the workload, just because of the task that they have been given, which is very bad. So government can do a lot of things. They can fix the number of hours in which the corporate worker should work, the employee should work. They should not work on Saturdays, Sundays. For example, in my organization, no one works on Saturdays and Sundays, and we do not even call them up. This is your weekend. You should enjoy that. Nobody is going to call you. You can spend your Saturday, Sunday however you want. We are just going to target you on the next Monday itself. That's it.
Yeah.
So that should be the work ethics and work policy.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. I like the solution you gave about having more mental health professionals across education
Yeah.
institutions. But do you know that I feel because psychology or therapy, the psychology profession is not very lucrative. And so, because of the lack of lucrative, a lot of people do not sign up for it. That I feel that is one of the reasons why we have very few psychologists across the world, not just in India. Here in Nigeria, the number is even crazy. In my school, of course, we have a clinic for the physical health. We do not have any professional in there for maintaining mental health or strength. We don't have any. And my school has a 30,000 student population. 30,000. But that is a lot
That's right.
for that is a lot, and we don't have any. So we have a counseling unit, but counseling units cannot provide the professional necessity, the professional help for someone who is going through anxiety or depression. And so we have a lot of recorded cases of students attempting suicide. Some of them luckily having their suicide attempt botched before it happens. Some were not so lucky. And when we look at this number, it is easy to just sweep it off as these students are lazy, they're not ready to face life, they don't know that life is not easy, nobody will hand things over to you. That is all true. But we also need to acknowledge the fact that stress, mental health is a major issue. Now, the statistics we mentioned earlier, 50% of people in corporate service go through a form of stress or the other. I mean, corporate service is already a hellhole. The competition, the deliverables is a lot, and people have to meet up, because if you don't meet up, there's another thousands of people who will be willing to take your job. So when we ask that government should employ more professional mental health professionals or psychologists into educational institutions, we should also talk about ensuring that there are incentives to pull more people into that field. Because why would I choose a profession where I don't make that much enough to survive, when I could become a
Absolutely.
doctor, or a lawyer that gives me good money? So and then the cost of living, the inflation is not just in Nigeria. The inflation is a global phenomenon right now. So when people are choosing careers, they're thinking of long term. They're thinking of survivor. So what kind of incentives do you think that we can have, or the government stakeholders can have, for students who want to venture into such fields of, let's say, psychologist or a mental therapy?
India is a country where there is a lot of unemployment. Employment is itself an incentive. There are a lot of graduates, when we talk about engineering graduates, when we talk about some sort of paramedical graduates, they are not even getting proper job even after completing their graduations and even post graduation. So if government is assuring that we do have these many particular seats, if you are going to opt the psychiatry, or if you are going to opt a particular stream related to mind stress, related to anxiety, then we are going to offer the seat of a counselor, we are going to offer you a seat in the hospital, then that would be an incentive in itself. And along with that, according to the number of students they are catering, according to the number of youth they are catering, they really need help. I personally acknowledge this thing up, because there are a lot of problems that are going in students' head. And in India, the education system is not as proper as it seems to be. It is really, really drastic, and it's not going well. So this is the thing that I would like to convey over here, that the student stress is genuine. Nobody acknowledges it up, nobody think of them, but as a tutor, I feel it every day, almost every day. So catering this up is really a big need. I'm also trying my level best to collect some sort of people to do something for them so that we can create, some sort of video interface where students can directly call our counselors. So I'm going to hire around 10, 20 counselors so that they can cater students on daily basis. Whoever is, not feeling well, whoever want to share their problem, they can contact my counselors or, stress handlers directly, and they can get a good medical treatment after that also.
That is important, bridging the gap, because there is a huge gap between resources and needing help. There's a huge gap. So ensuring
Exactly.
that those are filled up, those lacunas are filled up is a way to solution. So my final question is
Yes.
what should I say steps have you personally utilized in your like in bouncing back whenever you feel like mental pressure or stress, because it is not easy to achieve as much as you have achieved. You currently made the top 100 influential Indians of 2020 list. That is a lot. And I applaud you because it is amazing. Congratulations. But I know that behind all that success is a lot of work. And as a student,
Yes.
you have academics and you also do work, you also do social impact for all this recognition. So how do you personally handle stress? Because I know that there's someone out there who needs those tips that you use that obviously works for you.
Uh, I've gone through a book before few years. Obstacles is the way. It means that if you are getting many obstacles in your life, if things are stopping you up, it means that something big is waiting for you. There is a very huge reward that you are about to get. And there is a very popular saying, you are always 3 feet away from the gold. If you stop now, then you wouldn't be getting anything. And if you'll go 3 feet, then you'll get the gold. So I always keep pushing myself to get to the gold always. And I have never fall for money. Money is a priority, obviously, in everyone's life, but I always wanted to seek happiness from my life. If I would be happy, if I would be spending time with my family, if I would be keeping them happy, nothing could be better than that. If you are satisfied internally, nobody can burst that satisfaction level. Nobody can make you stress. You should be someone who can give someone else stress. Because working in that way, you can only survive in today's world. You should not get stressed. People should get stress from you. Because you can do the work very easily if you are like very pro in it. So ultimately, I always seek happiness. Jokes apart, I am a true believer of God, and I appreciate a lot of things that I got. I am in a country which is having freedom. I'm in an independent country, which means a lot. There are a lot of countries which are still not independent. So I just think of those people, that how they were surviving. I'm very privileged to get a lot of opportunities. I'm privileged to get that freedom. I'm privileged to get a very good family. There is nothing to stress about. Even if you fall down, there is always a hope that you will rise back, you will push back yourself, you'll get to the best. So I always think of that. I always think of people I'm surrounded with. I am not living for me, to be very honest. I just love my family and I want to do something big for them. So this is the only thing that pushes me forward without any stress. Because when you love the way, you do not, ponder about the results. So I love the way very much. The things that I'm doing are very challenging and I love those challenges. So I'm like always smiling, always pushing myself hard to get to the goals, to get them done anyhow, and that's how it works.
Yeah, thank you so much. Positive thoughts, positive mind, and
Yes.
positive company. That is the goal. And also, I'm going to chip in the fact that as a young person, you must understand that social media is not a real place. Everything you
Yes.
see on social media is highly curated. So guide your
Yes.
space from toxicity, because it's easy to go online and see a person who is doing well and suddenly feel that your own life is in shambles, whereas it's not so. Celebrate your little wins, know when to pull the plug, celebrate with your families, and know when to take time out. That is how you handle stress.
Absolutely.
Thank you so Thank you so much, Vipin, for joining us, and thank you everyone that has been leaving wonderful comments. I have one of your students here. He commented that he benefited from your biology class, and I think that is just brilliant. So it's lovely to see impact, to see people who benefit from your work and who are cheering on because you decide to be a change maker. This is what we need in our society. So thank you, everyone. Once again, my name is Oluwadamilola Akintewe. This is Check the Hog Student Voice Series, and see you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.